The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Alongside Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin, I'm Michael Watchring here for the Eagles Sports Network as Carson-Newman gets set for a 3-game series against Mars Hill. And, Coach, to kind of hit upon what we talked about the other day and the freshman class, let's expand it a little bit to the newcomers as well. How have you seen this team mature? Because you have a lot of guys that haven't necessarily been in a lot of big situations that have played a lot of games this year. How have you seen your group grow up here through the first 2+ months?
Grown up a lot, and they've had both success and failures, which baseball players go through. We're hoping they're growing in all their experiences. Whether it's a failure, what are they learning from that? What are we doing as a coaching staff to help them learn from their failures? And then their successes, what are we doing to maintain that? What was the reason for the success, either fundamentally, mentally, maybe it was part of their training? What did they do to the days leading up to that success? Because it's not only the success of that day, but there's things we've done in our life that have led to us having that success. And taking that to a bigger scale, you know, the things that are happening in my life, good or bad, what's happened before to lead that direction. And we all have to basically analyze and look back and say, what caused this? I hope our players are doing it. I hope as a staff we're reminding them of those things as well so that they continue to grow as players and as people.
You look at a Mars Hill team that entering the year seemed that they were in a pretty good spot. Well, up until about 2 weeks ago, they were 7-20 on the year, but they've won 7 straight. They had a lot of home runs. How do you try to keep this team offensively in check? And they have a couple good pitchers out there on the mound and try to get some things going against them.
Well, first of all, Coach Rember, they've done a great job versus us and me and Carson-Newman over the last couple of years. They've had a lot of success against us. So I know what we're going to get. Aaron's groups are very good. You know, the home runs, obviously they've got some power, but we faced it with LMU and Wingate, kind of a similar type group as far as slugging percentage and home runs. They got some team speed. They've got a young group as well. A lot of those guys are sophomore, juniors. So it's a young group as well, and I'm sure he's very excited about not only the rest of this year, but what he has for next year. And the arms of guys that have pitched against us before and have done well against us. So, you know, they've got a lot of momentum. More than anything as far as how they're playing, what they've done in the past against us, and the type of players they have that certainly can win against anybody.
You are back at home. You get 2 more SAC home series. How do you try to stress to this group, knowing that there's a lot at stake in terms of the overall standings, that they need to be able to take care of business here at home in this final stretch?
You know, it's interesting. We played Wednesday, and Casey Coleman is a guy who lives here in Jeff County who played in the big leagues, and it's been around a lot of baseball, from independent ball to the Major League Baseball. And he was around watching the game Wednesday, and I actually had him talk to our group yesterday about what he saw as an outsider, because I think it's important as coaches. We get so caught up into our world right here. We need someone on the outside to look in and say, hey, I've noticed this, I see this looks good, but have you ever thought about doing it this way at this point in the year? And fortunately, we're going to use Casey, and we did yesterday. And I think the thing he talked about was how relaxed we were and how we played the game. It wasn't who we were playing. We weren't playing a team. We were playing the game of baseball. We had to execute during the game of baseball. The team itself, if we looked at that on paper, should not have won that game. Offensively, what we were throwing, the success they had last time against us, the conditions. I mean, and I know you're not a betting man and we can't do it because NCAA, but you're probably putting your money on the Belmont Abbey team. But the game of baseball has a way of evening itself out for various reasons. And Casey brought up some of those points, and we've talked to our players about that. Play the game, play against the baseball, not the team. Do what you do best. Be your best version of yourself. It's one pitch at a time. It's the process versus the results. Anything else we look at, we have no control over. Whether we're home or away, whether we're first or fifth in the conference, who they're throwing, we have no control over that. And I want us to also take that into life as far as worry about the things we can control. The things we can't control are things that cause us stress, makes our blood pressure go when normally it's 120 up to 180, which mine was yesterday, as I told you. I got to find out, what are the things I can control? and worry about that and do it to the best of my ability with the right purpose in mind. Because that's the other thing we've talked about. What's our purpose in doing this? Win ball games, win that championship, or are our guys developing as people? And along the way, hey, by the way, you may win some games. But bottom line, are they doing the right things on and off the field, going to class, serving others, treating others the way we want to be treated? That's what's most important. The byproduct is the wins. We can't really control that.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to preach right there, Michael.
Hey, you bet, anytime. He's Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin. I'm Michael Watchring, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.